In this movie, we're going to be exploring the type panels. I think it's very important to understand these panels and take full advantage of all of the options you have available to you in them. So the first thing we're going to do is bring them out on screen. I'm going to go to the window menu, go down to type, and I'm going to select character. I am also going to go up to the window menu, go down to type, and select character styles. And then I'm going to dock these two together, just like so. And we'll keep those right over here on the right-hand side of the screen. Let's first start off with the character panel. The character panel, by default, shows you these options. You can come up here to the top and click Show Options to have the full amount of options shown to you. This is really where you get the finite level of control. Select this text down here, and we're going to change it. I'm going to change it from Arial Narrow to Arial Regular. And when I change it to regular, you're going to notice that it sort of reflows in the box. And so I could readjust the size of the text box, but I really just want to decrease the size of the font. So I'm going to just take it down a notch to 8 points, something like that. I may want to increase the amount of space in between these lines, and that's okay. I can do that pretty easily by going there, so I'll increase that to 11. You also have the ability to change things like kerning. So if you need to kern certain characters for a logo or something like that, that changes the space in between two individual characters. You can also change tracking. Tracking refers to whether or not the text has a loose or tight fit with the entire block of text. So for instance, let's say I wanted to increase the tracking of this box here. I could just start increasing the size manually or pick one of the presets, so something like 25. See how it just kind of expands the text, puts a little bit more space in between the letters, sometimes makes it easier to read. You can also change vertical and horizontal scaling, but I'm going to warn you against that because sometimes it will distort the font and often take away from the aesthetics of the font. If you're not getting what you need from a font in terms of height or width, I suggest switching to another font. You can also change baseline shift. Baseline shift is not necessarily important for just straight text like this, but when you start working with text around a path, which we will later on in this course, baseline shift becomes very important. You can also change character rotation, which will rotate an individual character or an entire set of characters based on your choice. At the bottom of the character panel, you have options like all caps. Clicking once turns it on, clicking once turns it off. You have small caps, superscript, subscript, underline, and strike through. You also can control the language and the anti-alias settings for the text. Let's move on to the paragraph panel. The paragraph panel is more straightforward. At the top, you have alignment options. So you have align left, align center, align right, justify to the left, justify center, justify to the right, or completely justify. I'm going to stick with align left in this case. You can also adjust things like the left indent, the right indent, the first line indent, space before a paragraph, and space after a paragraph. We're actually going to use the space after right now. I'm also going to turn off hyphenation so that we do not hyphenate anything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to double-click on the text object so that I can get in there to edit it. And I'm going to select this line of text right here, this email address. And I'm going to add some space after the paragraph. This helps you to eliminate hard returns. It's just better to control things with paragraph spacing than to insert hard returns. So I'm going to move that down quite a bit, something like 8 points. And then we will grab the selection tool, click away. That way you can see now I've created some space between my information and the address down here at the bottom. Just move that up a little bit, and everything looks pretty good. Now, in addition to the character and paragraph options, you also have character and paragraph styles that you're able to create here inside of Illustrator. So let's focus on those. Character styles are going to be more for individual pieces of text, words, phrases, things like that that have a different style than the overall body of the text that it's in. A paragraph style is for a large block of text that you want to specify. So in this case, my heading, I'm going to change this to a paragraph style. So I'm going to go to the paragraph styles. A little trick here, if you hold down the Option key on Mac, the Alt key on PC, and click Create New Style, it actually opens up the Paragraph Styles dialog box for you. If you just click this without holding down that modifier key, it creates a new style based on whatever you have selected, but it does not give you the option to A, name the file, or B, make any changes to the parameters. So we're going to go ahead and hold down the Option or Alt key here, click, and it's going to load up this Paragraph Styles options. In the Paragraph Style options, I can make a change to the name, so I'll just call this BizCard heading. You can see all the information about it. It's Arial bold, 14 points. Color, justification, all that is set up in there. I'm going to hit OK. And I now have a new paragraph style called BizCard heading. I'm going to go back over into my document, select this group of text, and I'm going to do the same thing. Option or Alt click, call this biz card body, and hit OK. Once I do that, I now have that in place. And let's go over to the character styles panel. I want a few of these options in here to be bold. So I'm going to select by double clicking, and I'm just going to change this to bold. Then I'm going to come over into my character styles, and I'm going to hold down the Option or Alt key, and I'm going to click Create New Style, and I'm going to call this Bold Leader because it's a lead in for the line of text. Arial, bold, 8 points. Everything's okay. Now I can select these pieces and just apply that to it. Now you may notice that it didn't change. That's because you see this little plus sign right here? That indicates that a style override is being performed. To get rid of that, just hold down the Option or Alt key and click. Same thing here. Watch this. If I click Bold Leader, nothing happens. Option or Alt click, goes away. Style overrides basically say, you know what, I'm going to override the current style based on the attributes that have been applied to the font already. Now anytime we want to create a new business card, let's say on another artboard or something like that, we could instantly recreate these text styles by using our character and paragraph styles panel to do just that. So take some time to learn all of these different options in here. Apply some of these to your text, see what they do, understand them, learn them, and really play around with it until you get it just right. Because getting your type right is one of the most important things you can do in any document you create.